Okay, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending the time you are seeing this video. Okay, first of all, in our last lesson, we talked about light reaction, which we talk about many steps in light reaction. We talk about energization of what? Chlorophyll. We talk about hydrolysis of water. We talked about picking of what? Hydrogen ions by an enzyme called nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Then we talk about what? The storing of what? The preserved energy, which I explained in my last video. If you really want to understand it, go to my last video and watch it. You will understand it very well. So, but I want to explain something before going to what? To desired reaction. Remember that when I said that this enzyme is further reduced to into coenzyme, then these coenzymes are electron carriers. They carry what? Hydrogen ions. They pick the hydrogen ions during light reaction. Then the reason why they pick hydrogen ions is to prevent that hydrogen ion to combine with oxygen, because hydrogen react with oxygen to form what? Water. So when if you didn't pick that hydrogen ion, it's going to what? React with oxygen to form what? To form water, which is hydrolysis of water. We did when hydrolysis of water is just what? Eliminate water in the process of what? Light reaction. So if this hydrogen ion reacts with what? With oxygen, it is going to form water. So this enzyme has a main function about picking what? Hydrogen ions. That's the reason why it picks hydrogen ion. So, and note this, enzymes are what? Are protein. Every enzyme is a protein. Then coenzyme are not protein. Coenzyme are not protein. So for that, we are going to enter into dark reaction. But before we continue, remember to what? To click the like button, subscribe to my channel, share my video to your friends, and also you are going to learn a lot from this channel. I believe God. Okay, this is dark reaction in photosynthesis. Remember that word. Just whenever you hear dark reaction in photosynthesis, one thing should come into your mind: assimilation of carbon dioxide, or carbon dioxide. Assimilation of what? Carbon dioxide, or fixing of what? Carbon dioxide. This is a process only to what? Produce sugar by a stepwise reaction. By a stepwise reaction. Just try and understand. There is nothing hard in this dark reaction. Dark reaction takes place on what? At the absence of what? Light. Mostly whenever a plant undergoes production of what? Of glucose and other things at the absence of light, it taking place. This dark reaction is what? Is being taking place because dark reaction takes place where there is what? Absence of light. So just know that. Then the first thing you need to know about dark reaction is what? Assimilation of what? Carbon dioxide. It's been breaking down. As carbon dioxide is being used, fixing of what? Carbon dioxide to produce what? Sugar. Firstly, the hydrogen ions this enzyme picked are being produced, are being given out to the what? Dark reaction. Did you remember in light reaction this enzyme picked hydrogen ions? Then these hydrogen ions are being produced when assimilation of what? Carbon dioxide is being done. Then those hydrogen ions will now be further produced into a starch. Yes, by a stepwise reaction that is guided by an enzyme. Each stepwise reaction of this reaction is guided by what? An enzyme. Just note that. So in assimilation of carbon dioxide, those hydrogen ions are further produced. They form sugar by what? By a stepwise reaction controlled by the what? Enzymes. That's one of the main things you need to know in this assimilation of what? Carbon dioxide. Then those enzymes helps as well. Remember when I say in photosynthesis, glucose is the first product of what? Photosynthesis, and then stored as what? Starch. Sugar is what? Starch. So when that reaction takes place, all their main products is what? To produce starch. So that reaction is all about assimilation of what? Carbon dioxide. Just know it. Nothing stressful, nothing hard in what? Assimilation of what? Carbon dioxide, the production of what? Sugar by a stepwise reaction controlled by what? Enzyme. Then we also remember in my last video I said what? That reaction takes place in the stroma of the chloroplast. It takes place in the stroma of the chloroplast. Then this is one or two things you need to have in mind as a person that knows photosynthesis. One thing you need to have in mind is that maybe they will ask you this question: what is the evidence that a leaf undergoes photosynthesis? The presence of starch. When a leaf contains starch, it undergoes photosynthesis. So there is nothing here to be hard. Everything in this photosynthesis is well known, well explained in my video. If you need to understand, you go to my next video, the video I posted yesterday. You're going to understand it more. I start from the beginning. So that reaction is what assimilation of carbon dioxide. Then it takes place because in the absence of what light. That's the best thing you know about photosynthesis. It has two stages: light and what dark reaction. So maybe by the grace of God, I'm going to drop another video concerning many topics, especially in chemistry and about physics. So we are going to learn more in my channel. Just subscribe, share to your friends, family, and well wishers. Just always come to my channel. You will see a lot of things, a lot of topics to learn. And I believe God, by the grace of God, with time you are going to get along and achieve more in life. Thank you so much.